everyone, welcome back. My name is Cassidy or Starr. If you are new to this channel, I am a Pleiadian being. I Light Renegades, part of a collective of beings bringing you information from the galactic realms and beyond. Sorry, it's been a couple of days since I've been back. The last 2 days have been really difficult. I've really been struggling with energy and also just a lot of things coming up from my past. We've had the Leo full moon and it really took me by surprise just how much energy I was feeling and just how much essentially I was just feeling heartbroken. I think that sometimes I think people see people like me sort of channeling and 17 on the clock there as I look down, and it's very easy to think that we have it all together. It's very easy to think that we have all the answers, we know exactly what's going on, and our lives are hunky-dory and everything is so together. My life is so far from that. I would just like to point that out to everyone now. I'm very much still not entirely sure where all of this is going, I've very much just been catapulted into this realm and I'm still figuring things out along the way. I've essentially walked out from one life into something completely different, so I'm starting again, I'm starting from the bottom up and really finding out who I am and where I want to be, what I'm wanting, what I'm desiring, where I'm wanting my life to go. And I'm very much craving stability. I'm very much craving a space of my own. I'm very much wanting to find a place to call home. I'm very much, wanting to find the person I can call home. And I wanted to just share that today because I think that sometimes we can look at people and think that everything is so fine in their life and, sorted for them. And I'm so far from that. I'm very much still in this journey with all of you. And something that my teams, my guys love saying to me is, everything is just around the corner. But I've literally been craving stability and the next stages of my journey in this for the longest time. 2022 was one of the most painful years of my life, and I've still been kind of having to relive things from that energy. And that's definitely something that I've been struggling with the past couple of days. So apologies, but I've just been purging a lot. And I just didn't feel ready to be channeling. That's just a message for those out there that are, struggling. This isn't easy. This journey is not easy. And sometimes we're so called to this life and it feels against our will. I think sometimes, I was very much in the energy the past couple of days of, oh gosh, like where is this heading, and kind of, I think, in disbelief of how some things have turned out. It's kind of like, is this really the way it's going to be? And what's next, what's next for me? I don't know why I'm being called to share that. But I hope that resonates for some. And it's okay to be in the dark. It's okay to not be sure where things are heading. It's okay to not fully know what's next. And I'm very much in a hands off the wheel. I'm really just trusting in my guides, my teams, the universe, and I have been for this entire time. So what, three years I've just kind of been, you know, take the wheel, and I'm here for it. But it takes a lot. You lose a lot, and it can be terrifying, and it can also feel very, very lonely at times. So know that I've been there, know that I understand that, know that I empathize with you. It's really hard at times, and we're faced with things that, you know, we really don't want to be facing. And I think that that's where some of you are right now. It's like there's a lot coming up for you, and know that it's okay. It will be okay. Everything will be okay, and you will make it through, I think, is the main message, you know. And some days are good, some days are bad, some days are quite frankly horrific, and I can't wait to go back to sleep for tomorrow to be a new day, you know. Sometimes there's so much energy that we have to transmute, and I very much know that I transmute energy not just for myself but for everyone else out there. So I know when I'm working through something, it's not just for me, it's for everyone. So keep that in mind, you know, when things are really tough, when things are really quite chaotic and coming down on you, know that you're doing it for the betterment of everyone, not just for yourself. So keep going. And it's okay to be upset some days. It's okay to cry some days. It's okay to wish you'd never started this journey in the first place. Believe me, I've been there. There's been some days where I've just been like, oh my gosh, what have I done? What have I done? Why did I sign up for this? Why did my soul search out for this, you know? But it does feel like that some days. Some days it's just, okay, what's today, you know, and go into each day hoping that it's going to be full of joy and love. And if you're not met with that, know that that's just because that's where you need to be right now, and you need to be facing those deeper, darker things, and that's okay. And tomorrow is always a new day. I always have that in mind. So thank you for your patience, everyone, with me over the past couple of days. It has been really difficult, so I thank you for that. But today I do have another message from Diana, and this one is titled, What Is It Really? There was no introduction from Diana with this. I had just channeled quite a lengthy light language session, which I've posted already, probably when I've done this, but there was no introduction. There was just a straight into this channeling. It does get quite gritty, and I think it's going to put a couple of things into perspective, and yeah, I'll talk about that at the end. But it was something that really, I guess, came to my mind and shocked me. I thought, oh, okay, this is kind of what we're dealing with. So yeah, I'm wondering what more is to come. But this is Diana with What Is This Really? In that time of the medicine, months I was starved. I wasn't given any food. I was meant to simply sit and be alone. My thoughts would go a million miles a minute. I would see visions of bloodshed and pain. I felt as though my insides were being curdled, and I couldn't string my own mind together. I wasn't sure if I was in this reality or the next. I could feel my body rejecting what they were trying to poison me with. I don't think they had taken into account just how powerful I was. They just saw me as little, malleable Diana. The voice began to come through a lot stronger. But this medicine began to take hold of me. I couldn't let it in. You must fight this, Diana. Don't give in. You can beat this, the voice would say. But I felt so weak. I felt as though to give in would be easier, to let it take its hold. I began to feel sensations of what one might call a taboo nature. I began to feel ravenous with desire and strange in my temptations. I began to lust for things I had never even dreamed of before, and I didn't like it. I knew there was something wrong. I knew this wasn't me. I began to crave flesh, meaty, bloody flesh, and this only got stronger with each day. I began to beg for food. I wasn't told why I wasn't allowed to eat, but they used my own afflictions against me. You didn't want to eat too long ago, and now you do. We are only going off your order, Diana. Orders, Diana, please be reasonable. I began to feel compliant. I could feel my nature turning. This was a month before I took myself off those bottles. I could feel my sense of self slipping away. As I've mentioned before, my days would be rapid and full of high energy, but I would find myself doing the most peculiar things, rolling around on the floor, looking for ways to sneak up on staff and scare them. I know this all sounds very strange, and at the time I knew something wasn't right, but I couldn't place it. I couldn't take myself out of my own force. My own will wasn't there anymore. I was just on autopilot. But then it happened. I saw my children. I hadn't realized, but a week must have gone by without seeing them. I saw Harry. He looked bigger than I was expecting. And William. But my first thought was, delicious. I gasped. I couldn't believe where this was coming from, my own mind. This was when the voice said, "Do you see? Do you see what they are doing? Turning you into a monster. Diana, there is no time to waste. You must fight back, and fight back now." I think we kind of all knew where this was going, and I kind of wasn't surprised with that message. I think I could feel the nature of Diana when she was consuming this liquid, and I very much understood that, she was trying to be initiated into something. But I think the thing that has made this feel a lot bigger to me than just this message is, Diana at her core is a Pleiadian. But whatever they were giving her was turning her into something else. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here, it's like something can be ingested that can turn your essence into something else, and of the darkest of nature. And this feels huge, this feels like this is going to be a lot bigger than I was expecting, and I can kind of see the dots coming together, and it's making me think of all, these celebrities that I've been sort of guided to delve into a little bit deeper, and their behaviors and their actions, and you know, perhaps why they have been doing some peculiar things of late. And I'm starting to see the bigger picture. But I think that the scariest thing is the losing self, the idea of not being in control of your own thoughts and your own being, but just being overcome by these feelings, these desires, these temptations of things that just aren't, you know, of light, and aren't, I'm trying not to use the wrong words, but you know, are of a horrific nature. And I'm really glad that these messages are coming out. I'm really glad that we are getting to know the truth, but I think I'm starting to see just how big all of this is. And I think these messages are going to shock some people, because I think in the future some people are going to stumble upon these and realize that they too might have been given something to make them be malleable, to make them be something that they're not, and they just weren't aware of it. I think that we're dealing with people being manipulated on the highest level from a very young age, some people, and I think it's going to shock a lot of people when all the truth comes out, because I think that it's going to crumble our very existence of what we might have once considered to be, you know, the golden gates of societies, you know, the Hollywoods, the celebrities, all of that. I think that it's going to be a shock to the system, to some, coming across these messages and understanding that the world just isn't as we perceive it at all. And it's quite crazy. Quite crazy is the only word that I have for it right now. But thank you all for being here. Again, apologies for my absence, and I'm still working through some things, and I try and be as transparent as possible. I try to show up, you know, with all of me. I don't want to paint a pretty picture of this journey and say that it's easy, because it's not. So thank you for your patience and your empathy in that with me. And this is a journey for all of us, you know, we're all in this together, and I very much feel that collective energy. So I know if I'm feeling something, a lot of you out there are feeling it too. So my heart goes out to you, and know that you're not alone. But that's it from Diana today. I think that she will be back tomorrow. But thanks again for being here, and take care.